Tip for the ninjas. I think one of the more interesting things that we've seen at Marketing Sherpa was the discussion of email and social media and how they tied together, and the idea of using your email list to build your social media following. What I thought was the most interesting thing out of that, and what I would throw out for the ninjas out there, is do that sort of thing. Track the clicks on your share links. Don't necessarily use that just to build your social media following. What you're doing when you do that is you're seeing who the people are that are using those networks in the first place, and you now have data in your email system that you can use to create other specific campaigns centered around social media, whether you want to get a bunch of likes, a bunch of shares of something, whether you want to push something out through Facebook, show off changes to your Facebook page, recent tweets, whatever that is. You now have a segment just based on people that are clicking those social links who are going to be the people most interested in that.
For ninjas, I would say don't be afraid to reach out to the newbies and don't jump down their throats when they want to, say, buy a list. Yeah, we don't think buying lists is a good idea. It's definitely not a good idea, but there are a lot of people that just don't know. So be nice, be outgoing, and help as many people as we can.
Tip for ninjas. So, you work hard to build your list. I think one of the most important things to think about is how to keep people engaged and wanting to stay on your list. And one way to do that and also try to create additional revenue is maybe coming up with some sort of VIP or loyalty program. And so you could take advantage of data like a lifetime value field. And using something like that, you could be introducing your loyalty program early on in a welcome series, and then have reoccurring messages maybe every month with people's points balances, and then even line up automated triggers when people are getting close to certain levels, and encourage them to spend even more so that they can reach that elite status that they're looking for and get some sort of reward for that.
Start thinking mobile. I saw a lot of images coming up in emails, sometimes even emails with one large image. What do you do with that if you get it on a mobile phone? I think a lot of emails are not yet made for mobile, and a lot of people are viewing their emails on mobile. So start thinking about mobile rendering, mobile design, and start even asking people what type of mobile device they are using to see their emails.
A tip for the ninjas: continue to teach. If we're going to be leaders in this industry, we're going to have to go to the newbies. We're going to have to bring them along into the right way to do email. There are a lot of people that come into this industry on a yearly basis. We need to make sure that we continue to teach them the right way, to teach them what we've learned over the last 10 years. And it's that way that email is going to continue to change and evolve and not be a dead medium.
For the ninjas, I think there's two things that need to happen. The ninjas that are out there are typically, email marketing professionals, and they typically only focus on email. But I think you also need to become sort of a compliance person as well, right? You know what the do's and don'ts are around email. So in other words, do you need to get opt-in? Is it best to do opt-in? Is it best to do a pre-check box or not to do that? I think that the ninjas that are out there need to kind of become somewhat of a compliance officer or compliance person. So not only do you help set up campaigns, but when you're talking and thinking about these campaigns, you also need to kind of think about what could happen if I do X, Y, and Z wrong, or how am I going to be affected by maybe sending an email to somebody in a different country, right? Because the internet itself is a global operation, so you kind of need to become that expert, not just on email, but also on compliance. And then to kind of throw that back to the newbies as well, you need to step out there and you need to help the new people as well, right? Not everybody knows everything. A lot of folks are coming out of school, they're jumping into this game, and it's not because they're dumb at all, they just don't know what to do. And so you need to take that time and help them out.
For email ninjas, I would say don't succumb to the tendency to over-communicate just because you can. When we get the hang of Twitter and Facebook and all the other tools out there and email, we have a tendency to over-communicate, and our customers really don't want to hear from us all the time. Some do, yes, but just because we can use the tools doesn't mean we should as much as we may want to.
Tip for the ninjas would be to actually implement a lot of the things that we all read about in terms of integrating your databases to your email service provider and send relevant content, one-to-one content, preferably in an automated or drip or triggered campaign, and start thinking about lifecycle messaging. That would be it.
A tip for the ninjas: go fluid. Fixed width emails just aren't working anymore because all the different devices, they change resolution so quickly. 320, no one's using the 320 pixel wide ratio anymore. Everyone's using 480 or 600. So you really can't target a fixed width layout anymore. So go fluid.
Ninjas, I spoke this year at the Email Summit on tracking ROI for social media, and one way you can do that is by outsourcing to a programmer, or maybe you have a tech person on staff, is to track where people are coming from in social media like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and embedding that into your opt-in forms with a custom field. And then when they order, you'll have that tag so you know exactly which videos, which social media sites are driving the most traffic, and more importantly, which have the most qualified traffic, which is leading to the most conversions.
I think ninjas need to look back when you have problems with deliverability or open rates, you know, all the testing that you do. Once you start testing, that means you're sort of broken, you're trying to fix things. So if you go all the way back to where the lists started, if you have organic lists that just grow from your website, people come to your website because that's what they want, don't ever mix those with the ones you collect other ways, which is if you do double opt-in or contests or whatever, because those are not as quality of a lead. And if you keep those separated and marketed to them separately, you're not going to skew your numbers so bad, because you're going to have organic numbers and inorganic numbers. And I think it's a better way of looking at things overall.
Tip for the ninjas. Please start testing more, because you are good already at what you're doing, but I still see a lot of people that are very good at email marketing still not testing enough. So I think that is my very concise tip for the ninjas.